So this is a Coachman Pastiche 520. Just going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got a jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. We'll demonstrate these to you in person here on site. In the front locker, we've got our gas bottle with gas pipe work going to the bottle. The pipe work that goes into the front of the bottle is a reverse thread fitment, so it needs to be turned the opposite way to a standard gas, or to a standard bottle cap, for instance, to release it. Then on top of the bottle, you've got gas on anti-clockwise and gas off clockwise. Coming down the side of the caravan, I should say, you can carry a maximum of 2 6-kilogram propane gas bottles at any point on board the caravan. Down the side of the van, you've got your Truma heating and hot water flute, very simply there to allow the heating system to breathe. You don't ever cover this up, as it does put out a lot of heat as well, so it could potentially be a fire hazard if you cover it up. And then on either side of the van at the front, you've got 2 wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while it's on sides. You've then got the water pump connection. You push down the blue trigger and release the water pump, and to put it into place you push it in and release the trigger again so it locks the pump in place. You've then got the pickup pipe that drops down inside the act roll. The pump needs to be fully submerged in water prior to turning the water pump on, as if it isn't, it can potentially draw air up into the water system. Coming further down the side of the van, you've got the battery locker. In here is your 110 amp leisure battery and your mains power lead coming in. We'll show you these in a second. So there's your battery and your mains power lead. During the winter, I would advise you disconnect one of the connections on top of the battery, just so it doesn't drain the battery at all over the winter. They are quick release terminals, so you just need to pop up the cap and it will release it from the van. We've then got the motor mover and wheel nuts. We're going to torque the wheel nuts while you're here on site and demonstrate the motor mover to you, so you can see it's all working correctly. And then we've got our grey waste pipes. The fresh water goes in the front of the caravan, and down the side of the van here you've got your 2 grey pipes. So they'll go into the larger diameter holes, then drop down inside your waste master. Coming towards the back of the van, you've got your toilet flush tank, so you'll open this up with your key, drop the flap down, and you'll put 3.5 litres of water in here and a cap full of the pink fluid prior to use. And in the bottom you've got your toilet waste cassette, where your waste cassette would normally sit. It's actually out at the moment, so I'll show you how that operates. But you put the cassette in, and there's a flap on the inside of the van that will demonstrate to you also in a second. So with the cassette, you've got a pull-out handle here, so you need to pull this handle up to release it from the side of the caravan, and also it turns into a pull-along handle should you need to pull the cassette along. You've got a turn-out neck here that turns out 90 degrees, so you can tip the waste away. The grey cap is a measure for your pink and your blue fluid, and on the back of the cassette you've got a pressure relief button that you can press in as you're tipping the waste away, so it allows the waste out of the cassette without spitting and splattering back at you. You need to put 1 litre of water in here and a cap full of the blue fluid prior to use. At the back of the van you've got 2 more wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while it's on site. So you just wind them down, touch them on the ground. You'd never lift the caravan with the legs, it could potentially damage the floor of the van. On the other side of the van, you also got your 2 fridge vents. 2 fridge vents very simply there to allow the hot air at the back of the fridge unit and to take some cool air in. And behind one of those there'll also be a gas flue for when the fridge is running on gas. Coming further down the side of the van, you'll see this little flap here. When you lift this up, you'll see that you have a vent. That vent is to allow the blown air heating to come out into your awning also when you're using the heating on board the caravan. You've then got a storage locker up underneath the front seating area and a barbecue gas point. Coming onto the inside of the caravan now. As we go into the caravan, above the door, you've got your master control panel. Just going to wait for it to clear up for a second there so you can actually see what we're doing. So you've got master power on the top left hand side here, power off and power on. It will actually come up with master on this control panel just here. You've got your interior lights on and off, and again it will come up with a box on here which you can't quite see in this light. It says lights on or lights off. And then you've got your awning light for the outside of the caravan on or off also. You do have some advanced or some different settings you go through here. You can set the clock, for instance, on the control panel here. Battery voltage for the onboard battery. Internal temperature of the caravan, and then back to your time. The water pump switch I'm going to come back to in a second. The first thing you're ever going to need to do with this caravan is, once you've got the mains power turn on above the door, is just come to the control panel, the 240 trip switches, a bit like you have at home. And what I advise you do is just hit the test switch here. If this switch drops down, it means you have mains power coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. If it doesn't drop down, it means you have no mains power coming into the caravan from the site you're on. At the bottom here, you have your 12 volt fuses for the 12 volt systems on board the van. Each of the fuses is marked above, or telling what each of the fuses should be. Then down below you've got a list of what each of these fuses is for, the same as the 240 trip switches coming across the top here. Once you've checked to see if you've got mains power coming into the caravan, you'll then need to come underneath the seat on the front right hand side and make sure both of the drain down valves are flat with the floor. So that's them two yellow valves you can just see here and here. So with them flat with the floor, it will allow you to fill the water system up. If them valves are upright and pointing towards the bottom of the seat, it'll actually drain all the water out of the system onto the floor underneath the van. So with them flat with the floor, you can come over to every tap on board the caravan and open them all up on the hot side of the water system. The reason you'll need to fill this water system each time is because when you've finished using the caravan after you've had your holiday, we do advise that you drain down the system completely. To do that, you pull them yellow valves so they're pointing upright towards the bottom of the seat, and then you open all the taps up in the central position between the hot and the cold, so it allows all the air back out of the system, and also it allows all the water out of the system. So, open all the taps up on the hot side. I'm only going to do the kitchen sink at the moment. The reason being is I've already filled the system up. We're going to go over to the pump and turn the pump on. Once that pump is turned on, you will have water start flowing through the van. Now, when that water system is completely full, you will have water running out of every tap continuously on board the caravan. And once that system's full and you have water coming out the hot side, you can shut all of the taps back off, and then you can start thinking about warming the water on board the caravan. Once that system is completely full, you can come over to the hot water control panel, which is on the opposite side of the caravan. You'll need to turn the control panel on with the power button on the bottom left hand side here. Now the screen is very hard to see, but down the bottom here you'll have the heating temperature of 16 degrees and the water temperature of 60 degrees, as you can currently see. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the room temperature, and in here, so it says 16 degrees at the moment, you can use mine down or up to set your room temperature all the way up to 30 degrees. So if it's at 30 degrees, that is your hottest setting for the heating. I do apologise, like I said, that the screens are very bright at this point, and unfortunately it doesn't allow you to see the screen completely, but essentially you'll have 30 degrees on here, and that means your heating is working. It's going to warm up to 30 degrees of room temperature. It's going to go back down to 5 degrees. Next option across is the amount of power you have coming into the caravan from the caravan site you're on. Now you'll see on here just about that it says 230 volt, 4 amp, 230 volt, 8 amp, gas powered, 230 volt, 4 amp and gas at the same time. Now at the moment that is indicating to me it is not igniting on gas. Now down the bottom here you've got 230 volt, 8 amp and gas at the same time. So to select one of these, we'll select 230 amp, 5 amp. So once you're ready to select your power source, you go in, and you here on site we're only going to leave it on 230 volt. If you want to turn the power on when you come gas on when you come on site, like I said, anti-clockwise on the bottom, it'll allow the gas to be turned on, and then you can try and ignite everything on gas as you need to. But you just individually select each of these. If it fails to ignite on gas, or the mains power doesn't kick in, you'd already know if there's no mains power coming into the van because you'd have tested it on the test box or on the test switch. It will come up on the screen, gas failure to ignite. You've then got the water temperature for the caravan. To turn on the water temperature, you've either got hot water off, or you come down, select the water temperature and hit set, and the box will essentially go dark around the outside, as you can see here. Or if it's off, it will be just the writing, black writing with the 0 that's not illuminated essentially, or blackened out. And then when the water temperature that's on will have this black box around it, as you can see here. So that is your water temperature as well for that. To turn the heating off, we do always advise that you turn this control panel off before you turn the main control panel off above the door, and you'll press and hold the power button and it will turn the control panel off. The green light will flash for a few seconds once the heating has turned off, and once it goes off completely, that means your heating is off. The heating and hot water control panel is off, sorry. Going over to the fridge now. The fridge is very simple to use. You use a power button on the left hand side here. Turn the power on for the fridge. At the moment it's trying to ignite on gas, so it is going to fail to ignite on gas in a moment. If it fails to ignite, you're going to know that by this light here going red and flashing. And also this control panel will start flashing on and off, which means it has failed to ignite on a particular power source, or there isn't that particular power source available. Automatic, when you hit this button on the left hand side, when you hit this button on the left hand side, it will change the power source, and as you can see, it's gone to automatic at the moment. So it's going to pick up the first power supply it sees, which in this case is 240 volt mains. Hit the button again and you've got 240 volt mains manually selected. And on gas or mains, you can control the temperature of the fridge with this button on the right hand side. And the more amount of bars you have lit up to 5, is the coldest the fridge will be. You've then got the option of 12 volt mode, so we can select 12 volt mode, and as you can see, it's flashing away at me at the moment because there is no 12 volt power supply coming into the fridge from the car we are towing with. It does not work off the 12 volt supply on board the caravan. It is only the 12 volt supply from the car you are towing with, and you would need to be connected to the car first for it to operate. If you don't have the correct connection on the back of your car, then you will have no battery charging while you're travelling, or 12 volt fridge. Or cool box, should I say. Microwave, hob, grill and oven all work very much like your household appliances. The electric ring at the back, the same as the 240 microwave, will only work if you connect it to mains power. The rest of the hob, grill and oven will all work from the gas supply off the bottle in the front of the caravan. Coming into the back of the caravan now, you have the toilet system. So you have an electric flush on top of the toilet, so you press the button to flush the toilet. You have a red light that illuminates here when the toilet waste cassette is completely full. The toilet seat itself actually turns for your convenience, as you can see here. However, when you're removing the toilet waste cassette from the caravan, you do need to make sure this toilet is back in the central position. Below the toilet, you have a grey waste handle here, which needs to be in the open position when you are using the toilet waste or toilet itself, so it allows the waste straight into the cassette underneath the caravan. And when you're not using the toilet, it needs to be back in the closed position, so it stops any smells coming back up inside the van. And you also need, like I said, you'll need it in that central position to stop the so it doesn't lock the cassette in place when you're removing it from the outside of the van. So this is the Coachman Pastiche 520. If you have any further questions on the caravan, please don't hesitate to give us a call here at the Caravan Company, and we'll be more than happy to help. We appreciate your business and we look forward to seeing you here on site soon. Thanks again. Bye bye.